Welcome to Rusty's No Man's Sky channel. We're going to be running through episode 2 of the Poison Planet series of Fresh Starts on Rusty's No Man's Sky channel. I'm Rusty, your host, and let's get going. Alright, we've backed on the planet. Universal Search Archives reveal no prior claims. We're establishing our base. Saved it, and this is where we cut off before. Online. Computer's online. We've got a base computer now. We have a base. We've got to do some development of it though, because we've got a storm coming in shortly, and it's a good idea to not be out in the weather. We've been through a few storms already, as you may have remembered. On our last episode, we had a storm that happened on our way to the pick up the hermetic seal, and you're hearing the input of our new blueprints into our catalog of things we can build. So first up is let's build a building. It's not going to look anything like the construction they've got in the image there, but we got to get started somewhere, so this is where we're starting. As you can tell, it is fairly level. Actually, they build level to each other. Yep, okay. Base Computers just told us that it's got more for us to do, but also we just heard the announcement about the weather coming in. So let's get some walls up. We've got a floor. Now you can see that there is some orientation differences between, or as you put things down. We need to be nice to have a roof here. So let's see about roof. Well, roofing components we don't have the ferrite dust for. So let's try just a floor panel to act as a roof for now. It's not something we want long term, but hey. Okay, the storm just came in as we got that up, so we were able to duck underneath, and we can stay out of the storm for the most part, or have a place to get in out of the weather when we need to. We're going to do some more because it's nice to not be stuck in this one corner when we do this. But okay, let's pop out and check what the base computer had for us. Additional archives. Okay, entry follows. Construction largely is a success. Recovered salvage data from nearby plans logged. Scans likely indicate additional subterranean devices. Beginning search. So this extracts plans. Whoever recorded these logs have evidently had some success. I have access to their plans and perhaps, etc. So, blueprint machine is what we need to build now. Let's see what we can do. It says. Let's see if we put it here. Okay. We're gonna do more work on it, etc. Let's. Yeah, if you're in the terrain manipulator, you have to be out of mining mode for any of this to work. Okay, we need magnetized ferrite and carbon nanotubes. And if I remember right, we don't have, or we have neither at the moment, and I don't think we've got enough carbon for even a carbon nanotube. Because, let's see, we click on that, and we've got 24 and 3, and we need regular carbon for carbon nanotubes. But we can at least start processing, well, we could do pure ferrite. Let's hang on to the pure ferrite, and instead let's put in that rusted metal. It gives us more, so we can do that. Okay, now we're going to need some carbon for both more roof panels, or roof and wall panels along the way, and also to contributor to get into the refiner to let it finish up the refining. as well as the gauge over on the right, or top right, going up when the multi-tool mining beam gets hot. You'll see that the mining beam changes from green to red as it warms up. It goes from green until well, it cooled all the way down to green again. And a red beam will get more per moment, but you don't end up with being on as long. So apparently we missed that we got something else the first time through. And that wasn't that, I don't think, but we were much further along. Alright. So it sounds like the refiner is quick, but we're going to get some more carbon here, and oxygen, and that should do for now. Well, maybe we'll get that as well. That one has fungal mold as part of it, or one of them did. Alright, we're going to do a bunch of mining. There's a bunch of stuff that we can mine. Like I said, we need some ferrite dust, and this comes with some ammonia. And this one, look, that's just carbon. I forgot to scan it. We'll probably see it again. Alright, so we can top up the carbon now, and continue on with the refining. That gets us ferrite dust. We need magnetized ferrite for the blueprint analyzer, but at this point we should be able to go in and put in roof panels. And then it turns out, we'll see, a roof this low is not really a good idea. So, alright. Change, let's go down, yeah, there we go. There we go, we can get some roof panels now. Replace that one. Let's get some more out there. Oh, we need more ferrite dust. We didn't get enough that time. And yes, we probably could pull some out of the refiner, but we've got other plans for that, so let's leave that there. We've got lots of these green rocks out here in places. Everything is covered in green or green color because of the poisonous nature of the world. On radioactive worlds, we have different process, different setup. On cold worlds, almost everything is white or light colored, except for some of the trees. Whereas here, all the trees are green. Actually, it looks like we got more mushrooms than trees, doesn't it? Alright, let's put some more roof panels up. Along about here, I remember, you know, maybe not right there. Let's get a wall up. Let's double the height of the building if we can. Get rid of that piece. You get rid of things by holding down, I believe it's the down arrow while you're basically, you can delete things by, you can see the instructions at the bottom. And one of the things I'm not doing is making use of the build camera, which allows me to not be trying to construct based upon where I'm standing. That, alright. And we need wall panels again. And we've got enough for 2, 1, and that's the last wall panel we can make until we get some more carbon. Alright, so we need more carbon. But we can get plenty of carbon in here for doing this step. This will take a minute and a half or quarters, so let's go get some carbon. Identified. We probably should scan that. We probably won't. Too far out. Can't see it. Yeah, and we're getting some numbers off of it, so we're actually reaching it.
Toxic protection 40.
As you can tell, we can get some better results from the beam. Like it's hotter now. Let's pop over here. We've got some more over here, and we get better results by being closer. So we'll keep this up. That's not something we can mine. The red banner across the bottom means that we need an advanced mining laser tool, which we don't have yet. We will get it, or be able to get it, but it's not in our inventory yet. So let's go ahead and scan that before we blow it away. Alright, now we can go ahead and blow it away, and we get extra stuff. We get ammonia off of this one. Off of these. Try to figure out, okay, that's what I was shooting, okay. And again, 500 units for that. So, okay. Now let's convert this pure ferrite into yeah, we're going to need some more carbon, so let's charge that. Yeah. Alright, now we got some panels to finish up. And there, and over here. Alright. Now there are things you can put inside, as far as tools and stuff, but what we're more interested in right now is getting that blueprint analyzer installed. So let's see what we got here. Yes, I need some carbon nanotubes. Do I need one or two? Let's see. If I can put this in with one. Yep, we can do it with just one. So, construction research unit. This used to be called the blueprint analyzer, but it's now in construction. It does get us blueprints, but we need some, in order to do research of buildable technology, or the other stuff, we need some salvage materials, which you don't have any of here. So, alright. We find those with that shield thing that has a diamond at the bottom. So we need a mining tool, or the terrain manipulator, my mistake. And now we go looking for more of them.
Toxic protection.
There was one off to the left there, or off to the right. There I apparently missed seeing it initially. So we'll keep looking off around the circle here. Alright, let's head off this way because I'm pretty sure I saw one off this way earlier. There is a range to the multi-tool scanner. There we are. 342 units, so it's probably something like 350 units. So, while we're out, let's grab some of this on the way. We need some nitrogen. Looks like we're back into a storm. So, pop up to that, and hey, there's a Some damaged machinery off to the left here. Let's take a look at that real quick. Nice pugnament. I don't have any pugnament. It's available locally, but I don't have any, so we'll hold off on getting that for now. And over that direction is the technology, brewery technology, or salvage technology we want. And where did it go again? Did we lose it? There it is. Oh, it's next to us. Brewery technology module here. And once it gets into our inventory is salvage technology. Technology module, salvage data. 1, 2. You can, as you're collecting salvage data, you get between 2 and 4 salvage data at any one time. So that was 2 of the brewery technology modules that we found, and that gives us 4 brewery technology. So it'll give us 2 more. So now we should have 6. So none within sight, it looks like, so let's go head off and see if we can find something someplace else. Maybe we'll see one as we go this direction. Every few dozen feet or so, or units, yeah, browse around and take a look. Sometimes the scanner can't see over hills, things like that. Or maybe we just go straight back to the base and make use of these salvage tech that we've got. And yes, we got attacked by one of those vicious plants. The Venus flytrap plant tried to get us. Alright, up in. We've got some salvage tech, salvage data that we can use now. So that takes 2. Okay. That's our teleporter beam. That takes 1. That takes 1. Alright. I always like to have the beacon available. That's a freebie. Can't afford either of those. Well, I'll try. And See, try, because really would like to have the battery and or the solar panels. Nope, insufficient salvage data. But we do have enough for that. And we've still got some salvage data or we'd be popped out. So let's go take a look at what other things we can do. I do want concrete structures, but not yet. We're still working with wooden structures, so let's go ahead and get something from the wooden structures here. This, I think, would be nice. Alright. So. Let's upload the base. An XO base has been uploaded. Alright. This looks like might be a good place to set up. Okay, what do we have for log entries? Awakenings, and we're to explore the planet and expand our base. Well, there's something to explore. Let's go have a look over here. We got some structures over here. So maybe we're on the edge of a small city. Or maybe not. Okay, we've encountered a new area. What's this down here? Looks like we got access to a cave, perhaps? Yeah, perhaps. We may investigate that later, not in this series, or not in this set of 6 episodes. We will get into caves later on, but not yet. You can get to, or fairly close to those Venus flytrap things without being damaged, but it's generally a good idea not to if you don't have to. Alright. Explore, explore, explore. We're closer to that tower thing. So, what do we got going on, do you think? And what's this over here on the left? Oh, we've got, looks like I don't know what that is. A silo of some sort, maybe? Don't know. We got a couple. Oh, we got some damaged technology, damaged machinery. Let's see if we can fix this. Chromatic metal. All right. We have some nanites. Okay, let's pop in here. And we're back inside. Source toxic protection cleaned up. Again, if you're caught in a storm and you find one of these nearby, they can be handy. Alright, let's get ready to find the Venus flytrap. Or is this the Venus anomaly trap? So we get one of those, some oxygen. The other thing, the reason to go with the Venus anomaly traps is that they, in all of the, yes. The anomaly traps and all of the other hazardous hazardous flora are give you oxygen. Okay, we'll go back to that pylon that we just passed a little bit later. Here we have cargo cache. We get some rusted metal. We'll save that. Got one of those barrel things we can't access. Let's get that. And this is a save and shark point. There are 2 possibilities for the save and sharks. One is if you fly into the area, you don't need to do the save and shark because as you exit your starship, you'll save place. But if you're going, or if you're walking along like we did here, it's sometimes handy to have made a save before you go into one of these buildings. This is the observatory. So, we got a frustrated Viking over there or some sort. Long ago, it seems, etc. If I can crack the encryption pattern, I could potentially extract the coordinates. This is just a numerical sequence. In this case, it grows by the number of position it's in. So 1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 3 is 6, 4 times 6 is 24, 5 times 24 is 120, 6 times 120 is 720, so let's input 720. Other encryptions may have different codes or different sequences. You'll see a lot of rotating number sequences in some places, which I don't think we'll get to today. Alright, we're back, and let's talk to this character here. Warrior's nostrils flare as I approach. They inhale deeply, sampling the damp, caustic smell, etc. They bark out what could be a warning. I really mind that I'm peaceful, etc. I take a second to think and grab my multi-tool while barking again into my visor, streaking it with saliva. They point to the mining tool beam indicator and then at my backpack. I do my best to, etc., and give him some carbon. The warrior grunts in satisfaction, impressed, etc. And then I learn a couple of words in Viking. One for Viking, one for interloper. A celebratory bounce because, well, occasionally you'll do that. Alright. And I did not do the thorough scan around the room that I should have, but I've got coordinates for a distress signal. Alright. Be a good idea to have some launch fluid or fuel. And for that I'm going to need some more dihydrogen. So let's go shoot some dihydrogen. Mine it. The mining beam. Overflight by a hauler and an explorer, it looks like. Alright. And one of the things that happens when you're mining is you will startle any of the local creatures, the fauna. Some of them recognize that your mining beam is a threat, some of them don't initially, but when they see the damage happening, the mining happening, they consider it a threat. Some of them exhibit no fear. Alright. Now, let's go ahead and make up some launch fuel. We're going to need some metal plating, and we can now make the launch fuel. Alright, now we're going to go over to this pylon thing. This pylon requires that you have, or is a way to call your ship, and also it's a marker for where the landing circles rings are. If you land on landing rings, you don't use any launch fuel to take off. But I ended up making the launch fuel because, you know, where I'm going, I don't know if I'm going to be doing some flying or having to reposition or anything, and that all takes launch fuel. So that was going to take a really long time to get there, minutes in fact, and now we're just going to pulse jet over to it, and that's going to take seconds. You have to be out of the atmosphere to pulse jet, but it drops you back into the atmosphere pretty close to where you're aiming, or where you aimed it for. Alright, distress signals can be anything. It could be a freighter that's crashed, it could be a local member of the system that's crashed and needs assistance with their spaceship, or it could be like this one, where we've we've got a starship that we check the beacon and find out. The beacon says the cockpit is adorned with the trophies of dead creatures perched on every available surface. At the controls sits a tendrilled hunter, its body and face lacerated. The dank smell of blood assails my nostrils as I fight back nausea. The black box reveals the pilot was attacked by something whilst in flight, but it's unclear what. I could strengthen the warning beacon in the cockpit, but it would leave me vulnerable to attack. Let's go ahead and send out a warning signal. He's long dead. An unknown benefactor sends a reward for my actions. I can now construct a tech that wants power, etc. Alright, we get a teleport receiver. Technology. Alright. What we got here? It needs ferrite dust. And what do we get for it this time? Just... oh, well, we get... nanites. Okay. Let's... some sodium, more sodium, some rusted metal into... yeah, we could put in a starship. Okay. This carbon, and we don't know what's in that one. Alright, so we have a fighter. This is a C-21 plus 3 fighter. It's worth 2,300,000 units. And yes, we have a droid in the left wing, right wing, depending on how you look at it. And it compares somewhat, or a little favorably to the fighter we've got, which is a C-15, as opposed to a C-21. But there's all these damage slots in it. They do need to be repaired. And of course the technology that's here needs to be repaired, or some of it needs to be repaired as well. Let's compare it to our existing starship. We've got 6 open slots here and 5 things to move, so let's move those. You don't normally, or you don't always have to move them, but if you don't move something and in claiming the ship you actually swap that, then your what's in your old starship is gone for you. You can't get it back. It used to be that as long as the starship was there you could reclaim it, but that's not the case with Beyond. Alright, so shields are down. That's going to need sodium nitrate and chromatic metal, neither of which we have enough of. This requires dihydrogen jelly and pure ferrite. This is going to need metal plating and hermetic seal. Can we do anything with that? I don't have either right now, but let's take a look. I should be able to make metal plating. No, I can't make either, so I'm going to have to do something about that. Alright, what else? Okay, yep, I'm going to need to make... Alright. Looks like we've got rocket launchers we can install too. They don't tend to be particularly useful these days. Alright, let's go get some ferrite dust so we can make some metal plating. Now we know these have ferrite dust, and we get some ammonia with that.
Toxic protection fully.
And yes, that's our suit, reminding us that we have exhausted any shielding for the toxic protection. Now, we occasionally will get geodes. Those are, depending upon what it is you're mining at the time, usually bulk copies or bulk editions of that, but it can be other stuff as well that you end up with. Geodes in cobalt minings sometimes end up being something else. So, but we're not seeing it right now. Let's go ahead and make a piece of metal plating. Do a quick repair. Make another metal plate. And let's go ahead and drop a refiner here. It's going to need some carbon. Maybe some more carbon. We'll have to go get some more. So let's go get some more carbon. Now, one of the things we're going to demonstrate here in a little bit is how you can make more carbon without actually using it or mining it. It's a little bit of a slow process compared to mining it right now, so it's not something that we'll be using regularly, but it's actually a normal thing to do with with the game, so I'm not going to worry about it. There are people who think that it's cheating. That's okay if you do. If you don't, that's fine too. There are other things that I'm much more concerned about as far as potentially cheating, but not in the... You're not going to worry too much about it right now. Alright, let's get some of this. The carbon filled up. Let's go ahead and make condensed carbon, which we need for making up the hermetic seal. Yesterday or the last episode when we got the hermetic seal from the space, it said we ended up with 2 hermetic seals. We only got 1. The second one was actually the blueprint that was being added to our inventory. Okay, that's done. Still need chromatic metal and sodium nitrate, and for that I'm going to need copper for the chromatic metal. But we can do the sodium nitrate quickly enough. That's just sodium with the refined. Alright, you see the orange symbol over there for the space station. We're to investigate the space station. We're going to hold off on doing that until next episode. I've got a few more things I want to get done here before we head up there. Among them, we want to get the starship ready to fly and safe and having weapons. So all we need now to make this functional is some chromatic metal. For that we need copper. Alright, sodium nitrate there. Let's, because we've got plenty of carbon in it, let's go ahead and get all this rusted metal converted into at least something. And while it's doing that, let's go look and see if we can find some copper. So, oh yes, I tagged a copper resource earlier, depot, or deposit. And that was a double landing where the first one broke the fall for damage for us, so significant damage. Okay. Yes, when you mistakenly press buttons and change modes for you, it will look for information about the mode that you are changing to. So you have to switch buttons back to get back to the normal play. Now again, if you're just starting out, this may not be a necessary video. The first 15 minutes of the first episode is probably all you need for really getting started. But, you know, this is kind of what it takes at times to get a starship going. So, get some metal, ferrite dust here, and free up this, at least one of these ammo cans. Search that. It's got some carbon in it. It's carbon. And unable to search this other ammo can because it's still embedded in one of these rocky poison things. So scan it. Oh, inventory's full again. Yep, can't do anything with that until we empty the inventory. So we're going to leave it. We're also going to leave some other stuff. This game is a resource management game. You need to manage what resources you've got. And so, okay, we've got ferrite dust now. We've got a place for that. Well, let's move some copper in here. There it is. And that turns into chromatic metal. Alright. Right there is probably enough for the system, but we'll go ahead and finish it all out. And that allows us to finish repairing the mechanicals on the starship. And there's our droid happy, searching around. So, we've got a new fighter, but because of all the damaged slots, there's not a lot of space in it right now, and we need a lot more. I mean, yeah, we can do some of the magnetic, or some of this right now, but I've got several of those that need to be done. And also have to deal with the inventory slot, or the technology slots on the back. Those have some damage. So instead of doing that, I'm going to stack that. I'm going to grab some of the tritium here. I'm going to leave about 200 because that leaves enough that I've got some if I need it in the future. Bring the rest back. Let's go ahead and analyze. Can we analyze the geode? Yeah, we can analyze the geode. That breaks up more dihydrogen. It's more launch fluid. Let's rearrange these because I like this pattern. Alright, now I think we're done here. Right. Ah, yes, let's move the nitrogen over. That frees up at least one more spot. Alright. And let's see, does it turn it out? No, it turns into mordite, so let's not do that. Let's put the that coprite into the, or ferricium into the starship. Pick up the refiner, drop it. Now, one of the things that happens is you get the carbon, or condensed carbon that was in the fuel inverter back as carbon, but you get 3 times as much as you would if it were the original condensed carbon. So we get 29 condensed carbon, and then we pick this up, and we get to 148 carbon. So now we put the condensed carbon in. We got over 50 of it, and we put in that 148 carbon, and we end up with 74 condensed carbon. And we keep running through this a bit, and it will slowly build up our carbon as condensed carbon or carbon. Feeding condensed carbon into the input of the refiner will generate carbon as an output. Same is true for if you feed it oxygen. You'll get a 1-to-1 carbon for oxygen, whereas you'll get a 1 or 2-for-1 carbon for condensed carbon. If you put in 2 carbon, you'll get 1 condensed carbon. If you put in 1 condensed carbon, you'll get 2 carbon out of it. But in this refiner, that takes condensed carbon, or it takes fuel or the inverter. Yeah, can't pick it up until the output is empty. And we'll just do it a couple more times here, or maybe not. We'll see. Maybe just the one more time. So. Okay, and then again, the system thinks we should investigate the space station. As I said, we're going to do that the next episode. We could do it this one, and it would be helpful, but okay, back into the space station ship, down to 25% launch fuel. Alright, let's get up out of the atmosphere. On our side, rotate, or scan the horizon for our base. There's our base. Target it and pulse launch to it. Building over here, that's another. Okay, that's just a shelter with a marker. Alright.
Technology recharge.
Don't really need it here to refill that, but we're going to need it sooner, so might as well do it now. Alright. Yep, we got that creature. Now, it occurs to me that I need more technology. And it's also a good idea to have more of the, I should say more technology blueprints. Good idea to have more hydrogen for some more launch fluid for fuel. passing, I shot some of these already, so there's some damage. Okay. Let's see. Alright, let's head on out. This looks like we've gone between 50 and 75 U's. I'll scan around some more. Is that one? Let's move over to the side. There we go. Yep, it's definitely one. So, get some jetpack power surge. Head over. And land roughly. New space, new zone that we've just encountered. Alright. 1, 2. Alright, we've got 2 of them there. Let's go looking around. Do we have any more out here? I can see. Not yet, so it's a good idea to check around. Maybe you passed one that you get to see, but not so much. Oh, we picked up something. Item recorded catalog. So I think that's a bait item. Ah, yes, I'd seen these, but hadn't scanned them before. So theirs now has been scanned. I maybe even mined it before. Yes, the punch does get you a little bit of whatever it is you're next to. Okay, what do we need here? We need sodium and chromatic metal. We got the chromatic metal, but we need some sodium. It looks like we may be needing some sodium for our suit shortly. Oops, there we go. We went right by one earlier. Good idea to pick some of that stuff up when we get by, or when we go by it, isn't it? Okay, but that's not going to be enough. That's only 14 sodium. There's some sodium. A couple of spots over there. Let's go have a look. And use the jump jet to get past. Okay, scan again. Lost track of it. Where'd it go? Okay. There it is. Alright. Try to have a little bit of reserve on the jetpack when you're flying so that you can land softly. Although landing basically as your jetpack runs out is not a bad idea either. Alright, out there's a huge crowd. 34 nanites. Okay. Let's see. There we go. Now we're in better shape. Alright, let's head out looking for more. Otherwise, you land hard and you get some more, or take some damage. Damage recovers quickly enough, but the more damage you take, the closer to death you're going to be. So anything you can do to avoid taking damage is good. And we've crossed 5. There's 8,000 U running around. That's what's called a milestone. And the more of those you get, the further along you are in the game. There are 10 collections of 10 milestones. I think we missed the 5,000 U step milestone. It happened, I just didn't take note of it. But you get to, or once you get to the 10th milestone, it doesn't matter if all you do at that point is just ride around on or in exocraft or whatever. The fact that you've already reached the max milestone for walking around makes it possible, completes that task. Okay, so yep, I'm getting good at running into things, aren't I, when I'm flying? One of the things I have noticed is that at times the stuff you're scanning for will show up where you weren't, or you were not able to see it before. So there's another one beyond it. Is no longer out there. So they do show up and then disappear at times. Alright, so we got another one over here to the left. There it is. Tag it, head off. And yes, I tend to turn off to the left at times, or turn off to the right when I'm landing.
Toxic protection falling.
Alright. We'll get 3 that time. Okay, there's one right over there. Okay, in bottom left you'll see little icon, or bottom right you'll see little icons of a running person and what's looks like a couple of tubes. It's actually your backpack or jetpack, or in this case your inventory. Inventory is now full, and we'll take a quick look at that in a little bit. Okay, got another of those structures. Shelters. All right. Now, Toxic protection.
Reach out.
Okay, yeah, the icon that looks like a backpack is now our backpack saying it's full. That's what the red symbol is. The running person is our endurance, and when we run, the line goes down, and when it gets to the bottom, we can't run anymore. If there's another line for a jetpack, that again, as we use our jetpack, it drops, and it gets to the bottom, and you can't use the jetpack anymore. That's in the bottom right corner. And it'd be kind of nice if we could kind of auto-target on those, or lock onto targets with the multi-tool, and just run along and keep firing at the flora that we want to destroy. Oh yes, this is one of those things we hadn't scanned earlier. So let's get some units for it. There's 500 units. Alright, and that's it. We're going to collect a couple more, and we'll come back to this again in the next episode, where we're going to head off to the starship, or to the space station, and who knows, we might even end up with some more technology that will allow us to get further on in the game. I thank you. If you found this video interesting, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. If you're new here and want to know or want to see more about what I'm doing, feel free to subscribe, turn on notifications. I'm also streaming on Twitch at twitch.tv/rusty0102, and there you can subscribe and turn on notifications as well, or follow and turn on notifications. On PlayStation 4, where I normally play, which is not what the videos are from, I am Rusty0101, and I'm more than welcome to take comments there. Below this video, you should see some ways to reach out to me if you're interested. I thank you very much. Take care.